Hey guys, welcome back to 4K Motoring. I'm Chris. Today I want to bring you in on the planning portion of our Iron Butt Association Sadle-sore 1000 ride planning. Thanks for watching, guys. So I may have mentioned this before. I'm going down with a group of friends. We are riding down from Raleigh, North Carolina down to Austin, Texas for the MotoGP race in this coming April. I think it's going to be an awesome trip. It's going to be a pretty decent road trip and definitely a test of this new motorcycle I have behind me, the 2022 Multistrada V4s. Obviously, I'm still waiting on a couple accessories, namely the travel bags to come in. That way I'm fully ready for that. But I'm beginning to plan basically my route and how we want to go about this. One of the key things we want to do during this trip is to go ahead and do a certification ride for the Iron Butt Association, their Sadle-sore 1000 ride. Now, I've not ridden 1,000 miles in one day on a bike. I've done multiple 500 plus days, but never quite to that 1,000 mile mark. So for those of you that don't know, the Iron Butt Association is an organization that certifies riders that have gone certain distances within certain time limits. Their lowest level ride, or their most common ride, easiest ride, however you want to say that, is 1,000 miles in 24 hours. Now, to get certified, you have to do certain things. You have to have a route, you have to record all of your fuel stops, all your receipts you get, do certain things about photo recording and sending in a big packet, basically to certify that you actually did this route with your motorcycle. Once that's reviewed and they can verify that you did in fact do all that mileage and that route, you become one of the members of that association. There are several other rides from there that get progressively more difficult and just more interesting that, who knows, maybe we'll get into that. I have not tried anything quite that long, but this bike is certainly made for it. But I really wanted to bring you in on the planning portion of this, where I go through and really start nailing down exactly where we're starting from, where we're ending, the time limits between places, and what fuel stops will be available throughout the route. So I've watched a couple videos from a couple people. I'll link one of the big channels I've been watching up above here. There's a couple key things to consider with your route and your trip in general. One of the key things is timing. The earlier you leave, the more daylight you have riding, and regardless of your schedule or your natural tendency to stay awake, just being around in the daytime is safer for the motorcycle and just better for you. Easier to stay awake, gas stations are open, food places are open. It's just a better way to travel. So we're planning on getting up and being on the road, fueled up, kickstands up, moving by 5 a.m. Now this will be the Sunday night basically. So we'll be in Austin for the MotoGP race Friday through Sunday. We're going to sleep there that Sunday night and then wake up early Monday morning. Plans to be on the road by 5 a.m. Hopefully if we do that, we have a schedule. I'll kind of post our tentative one here. We have a schedule where we're going to make certain stops. Hopefully we can make reliably about 170 miles between stops. I think all of our bikes can push about 200 miles. The question is, we do have one member that's going to be on a KTM RC8 potentially, which that mileage is not going to be great. That may alter our plans a bit. I'm hoping the rest of us can push right about 170 miles reliably. If we can do that, we have about 6 or 7 stops put in. And with our timing on stops, if we can kind of keep to a reasonable level, that should put us at our destination 1,024 miles later in Knoxville, Tennessee at their time, just about 11 p.m. Now there's a time difference, so it's really about 10 o'clock, but you get the idea of what is essentially 5 a.m. till 10 p.m. on the bike, putting miles down, moving. Now I know I said we're leaving from Raleigh and going to Austin. The reason we're going to Austin and then up to Knoxville for the Iron Butt ride is that we want to come home through the Tail of the Dragon. Some of the members haven't been through that yet. I've not been on the new bike, and we just really want a scenic trip. So we're basically going down from Raleigh, hitting Florida, straight down 95, and then shooting straight west from there, kind of along that Gulf Coast, right over to Austin, Texas. And we'll take that in a couple days getting down, just so we can kind of enjoy that trip and see what we want to see on the way, not be pressured. On the way back, we're going to do it in 2 days. One day is that 1,000-mile trip, and the next day we're going to hit the Tail of the Dragon and shoot home from there. I think it's going to be a fun time. The MotoGP races in Austin should be awesome. The weather that time of year, generally in that region, are pretty good. I have picked up new riding gear from Revit, the Poseidon 2, full Gore-Tex gear. That way I don't have to worry about liners, it's still breathable, just a whole lot better setup. So between that, between the radar adaptive cruise control on this bike, everything it has to offer, hopefully all the storage I'll have in by then, I think this should be a really fun time. Now at this point, I'll solicit from you guys, anybody that's done one of these long rides before, whether it's an actual certified iron butt ride or just one of these really long distance 1,000+ mile rides before, what sort of tips would you have that you want to share in the comments for people? What would you like to let me know? Anybody that's done one on a Multistrada before specifically, would love to hear some of that stuff. So far the game plan is, besides my Multistrada, there's going to be a guy on a FJR 1300, a little bit older one, but should be fine. Guy on potentially an RC8, potentially on a KTM Super Adventure. We'll see how that turns out. And another guy is driving a Porsche 911. I know some of you guys may have been waiting for my impressions on the Multistrada, the new one, as compared to the old one. I'm still in that break-in period, almost at 500 miles. I want to make sure I get there and can really play with the full engine, get through the full RPM range before I give you guys my full impressions. Obviously the break-in period, not supposed to, per the manual, exceed 5,500 to 6,000 RPM, kind of that's your ceiling, up till that 600 mile point with the first service is what the manual recommends. And obviously this being a Ducati, a high performance motor, I do tend to follow that. I don't know how much difference it really makes, especially after 300, 400 miles. I don't know you're really getting any benefit from there, but that's what Ducati says, so that's what I'm definitely gonna do. After that, I'll let you guys know specifically how the bike's doing, how it is to ride. Some of these features are really cool. If you've not ridden with adaptive cruise control, the active hill hold, the rear cylinder shutoff, I mean, heated seats, it's all pretty amazing so far. But I'll give you guys a really good full detail breakdown on the bike, the accessories, all that stuff at that point. So stay tuned, that'll definitely be coming up soon. With that guys, that's about all I have for you today. Just want to let you know what's upcoming, what we're going to be doing on the motorcycle, solicit for tips, people that have done it before, people that may have ideas about it. I'll let you know as my journey goes along exactly what we're planning and how it turns out in case you want to do something like this in the future. Maybe this will be a bug that catches on and we'll do some more distance rides. Maybe we'll never do another one again. Either way, stay tuned for more. This is going to be a little video series we're doing up until this ride. So as always, appreciate you watching. It's been 4K Motoring. I'm Chris, and we'll see you next time.